Hello and welcome to Herald TV News Bulletin with me, Conor Rosario. Lata Mangeshkar, one of the finest playback singers of all times, died in Mumbai's Breach Candy Hospital on Sunday. She was 92. A funeral with state honours will be held Sunday evening. Mangeshkar, who hailed from Mangeshi in Goa, was taken to the intensive care unit on the 8th of January after testing positive for COVID-19. Lata Mangeshkar was also being treated for pneumonia. Over the next few weeks, Mangeshkar showed signs of improvement. However, on Saturday, hospital authorities said that Lata Mangeshkar had been put back on the ventilator after her health deteriorated.
Lata Mangeshkar, a recipient of the Bharat Ratna, Padma Vibhushan, Padma Bhushan and Dada Saheb Phalke awards, was an icon of the Indian cinema, having sung playback for an extensive list of Hindi films. She also sang in several regional languages, including Marathi and Bengali. Miss Mangeshkar, who belonged to a prominent musical family, also composed music as well as produced a handful of films. She was popularly known as the Nightingale of India. In November 2019, Mangeshkar was admitted to the same hospital after she complained of difficulty in breathing and was diagnosed with pneumonia. She was discharged after 28 days. Lata Mangeshkar's debut on radio happened 80 years ago. She herself shared this fond memory on her social media account. She said that on December 16, 1941, she sang 2 songs for the first time in a radio studio. In her melodious voice, Miss Mangeshkar had sung over 50,000 songs in 14 languages since the radio debut. Many of Lata Mangeshkar's songs are on the list of Indian classics like Aayega Aane Wala from Kamal Amrohi's 1949 film Mahal. She sang for the biggest actresses and the biggest films from the 50s to the 90s. She was the voice of the leading ladies of the film industry for decades. With songs like Pyar Kiya To Darna Kya from Mughal-e-Azam in 1960, In Hi Logon Ne from Meena Kumari's Pakiza in 1972, Lata Mangeshkar was an unstoppable force who sang over 500 films with the country's leading music composers of the times, may it be Naushad, R.D. Burman, Shankar Jaikishan, Anand Milan, Nadeem Shravan, Jatin Lalit and A.R. Rahman. Even in the 90s, she continued to be the most popular singer among A-list filmmakers like Yash Chopra, who had a Lata song in almost all his movies, including Chandni, Lamhe, Dilwale Dulhaniya Le Jayenge, Dil To Pagal Hai, Mohabbatein, and even his last film Veer Zara in 2004. Oscar-winning music composer A.R. Rahman too worked with her. They worked together for Zubeda, Rang De Basanti and Lagan. Born in Indore, Mangeshkar remained the voice of screen idols for generations. She began her career at the age of 13 in 1942 and had sung over 30,000 songs in several Indian languages in over 7-decade-long career. Her first breakthrough song, Dil Mera Toda, was the film Majboor in 1948. In the following year, 1949, Lata Mangeshkar garnered massive popularity with the track Aayega Aane Wala from Madhubala starrer Mahal. After this, there was no looking back for Mangeshkar, who went on to become the most iconic singer in the Indian cinematic and music history. Some of her most loved tracks were Ajeeb Daastaan Hai Ye, Jab Pyar Kiya To Darna Kya, Bhigi Bhigi Raaton Mein, Tere Bina Zindagi Se Koi Shikwa To Nahi, Lag Ja Gale, Ek Pyar Ka Nagma Hai, Tune O Rangile, Ae Mere Watan Ke Logon, Mai Ne Mai, Mere Khwabon Mein Jo Aaye, Tere Liye, and Kabhi Khushi Kabhi Gum. Her last full album was the late filmmaker Yash Chopra directed 2004 film Veer Zara. Mangeshkar's last song was Sugandh Mujhe Is Mitti Ki, which was released on March 30, 2021. As a tribute to the Indian Army, she was awarded the Bharat Ratna, the highest civilian honor, in 2001. Clinton D'Souza for Herald TV.
No matter which candidates are in the fray, I will win the elections. Just wait for the results. Independent candidate and former Chief Minister Lakshmikant Parsekar told media. He also alleged that the BJP Goa election in charge Devendra Fadnavis was misled into believing that Parsekar would lose the elections. Fadnavis will realize this when the results are declared on March 10th, he said.
Independent candidate Lakshmikant Parsekar said, unlike his rival candidate who has the same supporters seen in all parts of the constituency, during his meeting he has local supporters in every part of his constituency.
निवडणुकीचो ज्या रिझल्ट येतलो त्या वेळार हांव एब्सोल्यूट विनर आसतलो नासून बिसून न्हय म्हाका खात्री आसा पुटान लक्ष्मीकांत पार्सेकार हो कसोच जिखून येवं शकना हे वरिश्ठां पर्यंत पावयल्ले आमच्या देवेंद्र फडणवीसाच्याय गळी उतरयल्ले आनी तोय बाबडो एक दोन कडेन उलयलो ताये कशे फट आसले आनी आपलो अंदाज कसो चुकीचो आसलो हो देवेंद्राकूय निश्चित कळटलो ताका मात्र आमकां 10 मार्चाची वाट पळोवची पडटली. आतां हांव भोंवता हांगा तुवें ज्या पठाराचेर भोंवता तितलेच आमचे कार्यकर्ते आसात ताका सगळे केरी पासून विर्नेडा पर्यंतचे सगळे मंडळी जमोवची पडटा तेच चेहरे तेच शेले तेच फेटे आनी सगळे भोंवत आसात आनी ताच्या पलीकडे नवीन कोण ना. सानेवळा हांव मोर्जे आसतलो हातूंतलो कोणूच आसतो ना मोर्जे ज्या बुथार आसतलो त्या बुथा वयले कार्यकर्ते आसतले इतलें सिस्टमॅटीक काम चल्लेलें आसा. जाहीररित्या व्हडलें काम जरी ना केलें तरी आमी डोर टू डोर कॅम्पेन हाका आमी प्राधान्य दिल्लें आसा आनी म्हाका खात्री आसा की खास करून 5 वर्सां जे चिमटे जनतेन सोंसले तातूंतसून बेगिनात बेगीन भायर सरून एक सुखी निर्मळ जीवन जगपाची जनतेची इच्छा आसा.
Story by Vinod Mehtar for Herald TV.
Acknowledging that there is a migration in Puducherry like Goa due to European passports, Congress leader Shashi Tharoor said people migrate since these passports give them access to the EU labour market and multiplies possibilities and incomes. The best solution for India is to open up its economy and create more opportunities such that the brain drain is reversed. Tharoor said it's a shame that Goa was not an IT hub and hospitality industry on which it is dependent does not require very skilled, educated, professional kind of people.
The best solution for India is to open up its economy and create more opportunities such that the brain drain is reversed. Shashi Tharoor said it's a shame that Goa was not an IT hub and hospitality industry does not require very skilled, educated, professional kind of people. Speaking on Herald TV's program, Goa Wants to Know, Lok Sabha MP Shashi Tharoor said some Goans would come back once make up, put some euros in the bank, but their life is far more unpleasant than their life here. Some may not come back unless they find comparable opportunities which unfortunately are not available in the tourism sector, which has become dominant in Goa. Watch.
Large number of young people in Goa who are entitled to Portuguese passports because of their parents and their lineage are using that to move away from Goa because of lack of opportunities here, whether they are jobs or entrepreneurship and so on and so forth. And these are our real Kohinoors. These are the people who've moved away. And of course, the Congress ruled for a long time. Last 12 years, they haven't. Has anybody given a thought of getting those people back, into the country and into the system? And how do you do that? Because the people who are actually leaving Goa are not really going to join Ernst & Young or the United Nations and so on and so forth. They are going to work and say, I'm not saying all of them are, but many of them are going and working very hard, facing a lot of hardships and leading a life which is less comfortable than the idyllic life of Goa. But yet they are going because they have no opportunity.
No, this is genuinely true, and we've seen similar stories with smaller numbers involved out of Puducherry with the French passport, and largely because these passports, the French and the Portuguese, give you access to the entire EU labour market.
Sure.
And you can work anywhere in the European Union, and therefore they think that multiplies the possibilities and of course the income.
Sure.
Some of them will come back anyway, especially once they put some euros in the bank, because their life is far more unpleasant than the life here. Some of them may not come back until and unless they find comparable opportunities.
Sure.
And I think that's where the question comes up for us. My formula would have always been, certainly what I would say to Indian friends when I was working at the UN was, that the best solution for India is to open up its economy, creates so many more opportunities in the process that more and more of the brain drain will be reversed.
Devendra Gaonkar and Clinton D'Souza for Herald TV.
TMC's Aldona candidate Kiran Kandolkar charged that in BJP there is a remote control who works behind the curtains. We are told to talk what they want. They want us to be puppets. They see Bandari leaders in a different perspective, even if they give tickets to them. In the BJP, those who work behind the curtains don't want us, meaning Bandaris, to move forward, he confessed.
Kiran Kandolkar enlisted that development of Kurzweil Fort Economic Center, construction of a new market complex, bypass road from Galwar to Salvador Domun, bridge from Moira to TV railway station, and Kurzweil Bridge to Nashnaula bypass to ease traffic are part of his vision for Aldona, his native place.
बीजेपीच्या भितर हांव स्ट्रॅटेजी आनी बाकीच्या गोश्टीन आसनासलो. बीजेपीन हांव फक्त स्पोक्स पर्सन आसलो, पूण बीजेपीन आसतना तो रिमोट कंट्रोल आसलो. हांव सरळ सांगता, बीजेपीन म्हाका आपल्याक गरज आसले त्या इश्यूचेर घे तूं प्रेस नाल्यार बाकीचें उलोवप ना. म्हणजे बंधन आसलें म्हटल्यार चलता, मुबान आसली म्हणजे तांकां कशें जाणाय, तांकां खंयचोच लिडर आनी तोय करून बहुजन समाजाचो लिडर फुडें सरलेलो म्हणजे जो उलोवंक जाणा किंवा मुद्दे मांडूंक जाणा असो तांकां नाका आसता. तांकां कित्याक आपल्या हातींतलो बावलो जाय आसता. ते भियातात कोण तरी दुसरो एक सामान्य कुटुंब, आनी खास करून हांव सांगता आमच्या भंडारी समाजाक ते खूब म्हणजे वेगळे नदरेन पळयतात. ते आयज तिकेटी दिवं भंडारी समाजाक, पण बीजेपीचे कांय लोक जे आहा, कांय लोक आनी आजुनूय जे पड्ड्या फाटसून जे राजकारण चलयतात पळय, हांकां आमचेर म्हणजे आमी फुडें सरलेले नाका. सो थंयसर म्हाका केन्ना अशी ऑपॉर्च्युनिटी मेळोकूच ना. हळदण्या मार्केट कॉम्प्लेक्स हो कांय वर्सां पयलीं हळदण्याची प्रॉपर्टी आहा न्हू मार्केट सरावंडेड, ही चर्च प्रॉपर्टी म्हणून मानली गेली वता. पूण त्याच चर्चीन ही कांय वर्सां पयलीं आदी दिल्ली आनी हो पयलीं बांदलेलो, पूण तो आयज मोडकळीस येयल्लो आहा. थंय परिसरान भोंवताना लोक आपलो जीव मुठीन घेवन भोंवता, इरिस्पेक्टीव ऑल द जाती आनी धर्म. कित्याक फाल्यां जर तो स्लॅब मोडोन पडत जाल्यार जाती आनी धर्म पळोवन स्लॅब वळखाचो ना, कोणूय वचोंक शकता. सो हळदणची ही मार्केटाची दुर्वेवस्था आहा, हो करपाक जाय आसलो, हेजी मागणी खुबशी आसली. अश्यो खुबश्यो गजाली. आल्दोनाचो फोर्ट आहा, ह्या फोर्टाक आमी बरो एक आर्कोलॉजीच्या थ्रू बरो डेवलप करून तें एक ट्युरिस्टीक डेस्टिनेशन म्हणून आमी जर आयडेंटिफाय करीत, डेवलप जर करीत जाल्यार थंय जो बारीक वंचीत समाज रावता त्या समाजाचे लोक थंय कितें ना कितें आपलें पोट भरूंक शकता. जे ट्युरिस्ट येतले तेंच्या वरवीं ते आपलें पोट भरूंक शकतले. आमचो सरकार जो पळयता पळय तो फक्त बीच ट्युरिजम पळयता, पूण हांव पळयतना इको ट्युरिजम पळयता. आमच्या गांवांत ट्युरिजम व्हर, जेणे करून रोजगार उत्पन्न जातले. आपशीच रोजगार हो म्हणजे गव्हर्मेंट जॉबूच हो रोजगार न्हू, आपलें पोट भरपा सारकिल्ले कांय गोश्टी आपल्याक मेळप, लोकांक मेळप हो रोजगार म्हणटा आमी, जेणे करून तेजी फॅमिलीची आय आसता ही वाडटा.
ब्युरो रिपोर्ट फॉर हेराल्ड टीव्ही.
The senior Congress leader and former finance minister P. Chidambaram on Sunday stated that if the economy of Goa should improve, then it is very important to start illegal mining and promised to start mining activities in the state within 3 to 6 months after the Congress comes to power.
P. Chidambaram was speaking on vital points of the manifesto released by the Congress party. He said that Goa, and for Goa, the problem is not about finding resources, but the problem is with the allocation of resources. There are 3 avenues for the state budget: the government-owned resources, share of central government revenues, and central government grants. We have started sustainable legal mining under the Supreme Court judgment. But we need to attend the problems, he reiterated and assured to restart mining in the state.
But it outlines a vision up to 2035. We will make a brief presentation of the highlights of the manifesto. Finding resources. The problem was about allocating resources. There are 3 avenues for a state budget: government's own resources, share of central government revenues, and the central government grants. These are the 3 ways of raising resources for a state government. There's never been a problem. My experiences has never been a problem about the source of funds. It's about the allocation of funds. If you have a wise hand, a thinking mind, and you allocate resources, all the problems can be, all the issues that we have highlighted in the manifesto can be achieved over a period of 5 years.
Meanwhile, Ramakant Kalap, the former member of the parliament, said that manifesto has been drafted considering the vision for 2035. This manifesto is drafted by taking 500 unique suggestions from the people of Goa. We believe that everyone should benefit and get justice, he added.
The BJP just gave them a new label, put them in some bottle and says here it is something new. It's not so. These yojanas or these schemes were initiated by the Congress party, implemented by us. They got the opportunity from 2012 till now, 10 years they got. So they could tom-tom those ideas.
Clinton D'Souza for Herald TV.
Let's take a short break. Welcome back. Former CCP Commissioner and Congress candidate for Panjim, Elvis Gomes, has flagged the Smart City mission as the mother of all scams. The citizens' taxes are usually spent on upgrading infrastructure, but nobody knows what is happening to the 669 crore allocation for the Smart City, Elvis quipped. He said there is a huge rush to push tenders and hectic digging is going on to lay CCTV camera cables, and there is no transparency in any of the works. Watch the entire interview with Elvis Gomes on Herald TV's program Campaign Trail Panjim on Herald TV and YouTube.
Elvis Gomes said that they are destroying the roads to lay CCTV cable, the camera cables. Even when there is no need to dig with modern technology, 2 smart roads are to be completed in 18 months and there is a hectic rush to complete them now. They could not be completed in the last 6 years, Elvis stated. In fact, no project has been completed under Smart City. Only tenders have been awarded, he pointed out. Watch.
And then now it is supposed to be a smart city. But you, as a citizen, you launched this whole Citizens for Democracy where you spoke against the entire alleged corruption in the smart city project. And you had said that about out of the entire scam is worth about 669 crores. You said that amount has been siphoned. That's probably more than the actual outlay. And you said that only about 100 crores has been spent. Can you just tell us, according to you, what is the nature of the scam, who are responsible, and the specific places where these scams are visible?
This smart city mission is the mother of all scams in Panjim. Why it is being dug? They want to lay a cable for CCTV cameras. Today technology is there where you don't even have to trench the road and you can get the best out of it. 128 crores on a small town to put CCTV cameras. This itself is a big scam. Then they are talking about laying roads, smart roads. Now what is smart roads? The citizens don't know. There is no public participation in this whole process. Initially they did some consultation, thereafter they have forgotten the people. Now what they are doing, they only know. They have given work orders for 2 smart roads.
It is Devendra Gaonkar for Herald TV.
From door-to-door campaigns to inauguration of offices, candidates are making all-out efforts to reach to voters for the February 14th elections. Campaigning ends 48 hours before the actual date of polling.
4-time former ZP member of Kolwa, Nelly Rodriguez, along with former Sankwal Sarpanch Ramakant Borkar, campaigned for Kortalin TMC candidate Mariano Rodriguez.
We are going to build a big hall there, and already gutters are being cleaned. Work is hardly anything is done. People's complaints are there in Zwarinagar. I told them 10 years back, twice when we contested, we told you all that people will come here, they will throw money, and that will be the end. Whoever gives you all money, they will never show their face in 5 years. This is what I had told them. I have done so much of work over here. Most of the housewives schemes, most of the schemes for economic empowerment of women, through Kadi loans, through EDC loans. I want to make a living for these people, and there is so much of work.
Ex-Zilla Parishad member Vasant Gopi Naik supported Congress candidate Olencio Simoes on his door-to-door campaign in Sankwal. All communities are with the Congress, including Bandari Samaj, Gopi said.
बाब आमचो Olencio Simoes जो कॅन्डिडेट जावन आसा काँग्रेस तेका आमी सगळे घरा एक बरो रिस्पॉन्स लोकां कडच्यान मेळटा आनी सगळे एक घरा वयता थंय तेका लोकांची जी डिफिकल्टीज 2 वर्सां कोरोना टायमार लोकांनी जायते फेस केला की आमकां कोणेच विचारूंकूय ना या कोण गव्हर्मेंट आहा तेणे पळोवंकूय येवना बीजेपी तर नाच ना तेन्ना जे लोक मेलोय खबर ना या जितोय खबर ना अशी BJP सरकारान लोकांची परिस्थिती करून दवरलेली आसा. ताका लागून जो डोर टू डोर आमी हांगा भोंवता आसतना हॉलेंसान जायत्यो लोकांच्यो डिफिकल्टीज ज्यो गरजेच्यो ज्यो वस्तू तांकां जाय आशिल्ल्यो या आमकां हे भाशेन जाय आशिल्लें डेव्हलपमेंट जावना या आनी लायट ना उदो ना हे भागांत कितें कितें आसा ते जायते डिफिकल्टीज ताका लोकांक सांगले आनी आमी लोकांक आश्वासन दिलां की बाबा आमकां हे पाटी जरूर एक पाटी एक बदल करून हाडाय तुमी.
MGP Pedni candidate G. Tarulkar was seen on a door-to-door campaign in Mandre on Sunday.
जे आम्ही ते ज्या वाड्यार वयतात त्या वाड्यातले आमचे स्थानिक लोक आमच्या वांगडा भायर सरतात. तर तेचेरूच कळटा की लोकांचो कसो रिस्पॉन्स जाता. आमी कोणाक आफोवंक वचनात आनी इन्वायटूय करना बाबा डोर टू डोर कॅम्पेनींग या म्हणून. ऑटोमॅटिकली आपूण स्वताहून येतात. तेचेरूच कळटा की रिस्पॉन्स कसो आसा.
Here's a comeback that should revitalize the dropping shoulders. SC East Bengal would look to continue their fight and bag a win when they take on Odisha FC in the 2021-22 Hero Indian Super League at the Tilak Maidan Stadium on Monday.
Odisha will look to counter SC East Bengal's fighting spirits to close top 4 gap. The Red and the Golds conceded 2 early goals against Chennai FC in their last engagement but showed grit to come back, riding a last-ditch equalizer from the 18-year-old Hamte after a super free kick from Darren Sourdal had brought them back to the game. The result helped them to move from the 10th spot to the table with 10 points with 15 games. More importantly, it was a fighting performance, especially in the second half where the team showed spirit to the highest order, something that was missing in the previous games. Now, in the pre-match press conference, Renedy Singh, the head coach of East Bengal FC, said that in the dugout at halftime, the Chennai FC match, I asked the players to be braver. I had asked them to play freely and they delivered. Rivera dropped a back 3 with 2 wing backs after leaking 2 goals in the first half and remains to be seen whether the Spanish goes with the same strategy in Odisha game as well. Clinton D'Souza for Herald TV.
That's all we have in today's news bulletin. Thank you for watching Herald TV News. For more news alerts, please follow us on O Heraldo on Facebook and Twitter. Take care and goodbye.